This is the Wrentit, called the voice of the chaparral for its bouncing ball song. In this video, we'll explore 25 must-see birds that bring life and sound to Southern California's coastal sage scrub and chaparral. But it's not just about the birds. This landscape brims with drama, wildlife, and the imprint of California life. Let's begin with the Wrentit, the heartbeat of this wild mosaic habitat. That bouncing, steady rhythm you hear in the chaparral is the Wrentit, the unmistakable voice of California's dense coastal scrub. Its rich, ringing song comes in bursts and duets, carrying through thick tangles of manzanita and chamise. Small and shy, Wrentits rarely show themselves, usually slipping quietly through the bushes. Their grayish feathers and long tail blend perfectly with the dry, woody plants around them. Wrentits spend their whole life in tiny home ranges, often less than 2 acres, hunting insects they spot in the brush. Mated pairs stay close all year, singing and guarding their space together. Wrentits are a sign of healthy chaparral and a favorite of birders who enjoy listening to the sounds of the chaparral. The California Gnatcatcher is a small, active bird found only in coastal sage scrub along Southern California and Baja California. This habitat of low, dry shrubs is home to many rare plants and animals. Their gray feathers and black crown help them blend into the arid scrub. These insect eaters flit rapidly through the sage and chaparral, catching gnats and tiny bugs in midair or from leaves. Their soft, nasal calls are familiar sounds in quiet sage hillsides. Threatened by habitat loss from development and fragmentation, California gnatcatchers are closely monitored and protected. They are important indicators of healthy coastal sage ecosystems. Seeing one in its shrinking habitat is a true highlight for any nature lover. Rufous-crowned sparrows are hardy foragers of dry, open chaparral and brushy hillsides across California and Baja California. Their warm reddish crown stands out against grayish-brown feathers, blending them perfectly with leaf litter, rocks, and dry grasses. These sparrows feed mostly on the ground, hopping and scratching among low plants like buckwheat and sage to uncover seeds and insects. Their crisp trills ring over open rocky slopes and can be heard on calm mornings. Adapted to hot, arid conditions, the Rufous-crowned Sparrow embodies the rugged spirit of chaparral life, a steady presence in a challenging landscape. Watching one perch atop a boulder while singing boldly is a classic Southern California sight. Southern California's chaparral and coastal sage scrub are 2 classic shrubland habitats. Chaparral is tall and dense, made up of hardy evergreen shrubs like chamise, manzanita, and scrub oak. Coastal sage scrub is shorter and more open, with plants such as black sage, California sagebrush, and buckwheat. Together they cover hillsides in muted green, brightened each spring by wildflowers. Canyons hold cooler shade, while exposed ridges stay harsh and dry. Fire often sweeps through these slopes, clearing old shrubs and opening space for new growth. Birds depend on this mix of plants for food, nesting, and cover, and protection in a tough and changing landscape. The California Thrasher is a large, lanky songbird with a long, down-curved bill and a tawny to grayish-brown body. It is a flagship species of California chaparral, thriving in dense, low shrubs and thickets. Known as an exuberant songster, males and females sing from elevated perches, often duetting with rich, varied songs that mimic other chaparral birds. This species forages mostly on the ground, thrashing through leaf litter and tossing aside debris with its bill to uncover insects and spiders. It also eats berries. Its strong presence in chaparral underscores its role as a sentinel of this fire-adapted habitat, singing through spring and summer and rarely wandering far from its home range. Spotting one belting its song atop a toyon bush is a moment chaparral birders never forget. Bushtits are tiny, active songbirds that form tight-knit flocks year-round, Their soft gray and brown feathers blend seamlessly with oaks, willows, and riparian woodlands where they forage for insects and spiders. These birds move in quick, darting bursts, often hanging upside down to pick food from leaves and twigs. Their high-pitched calls and constant motion make them lively presences in the understory. Known for cooperative breeding, family groups work together to raise young in elaborate hanging nests shaped like gray wool socks. Bushtits embody energy and community in the woodlands and brushy habitats of the western U.S. Watching a chattering flock pass just feet away feels like being swept into their whirlwind world. The spotted towhee is a striking bird of open woodlands, chaparral, and brushy fields across western North America. Males catch the eye with bold black, white, and rusty plumage, while females display softer brown tones. These birds actively snatch and forage through leaf litter and loose soil to uncover insects, seeds, and berries. Their sharp, clear calls and melodic songs resonate through dry, open habitats. Often elusive yet bold, spotted towhees provide vivid contrast and lively presence in the gently rustling chaparral and brush they frequent. When startled, they flick their tails and flash white spots in the sunlight. Watching one emerge from the shadows to sing from the tip of a dead twig completes the chaparral morning. Chaparral follows a clear seasonal rhythm. Most rains fall in winter, from December through March. These storms bring wildflower blooms and short-lived streams. In spring, birds are most active. Thrashers sing, hummingbirds nest, and sparrows call from open slopes. By early summer, hillsides dry and insects decline, so many birds move to wetter canyons or higher ground. Coastal fog sometimes cools mornings, but inland areas stay hot. Autumn often brings Santa Ana winds, dry, powerful gusts that can fuel wildfires. For birdwatchers, spring is the best season, with resident birds joined by migrants. Winter adds surprises as thrushes and sparrows appear after storms. California scrub jays are smart and bold birds that thrive in chaparral, oak woodlands, and suburban areas across coastal California and the western U.S. Their bright blue and gray feathers make them easy to spot. These birds cache thousands of acorns and other seeds each year, helping to grow new trees. Their memory and problem-solving skills are remarkable, allowing them to recover many hidden caches. Scrub jays are vocal and social, often seen in pairs or family groups. Their raucous calls echo through dry hillsides, marking territories near reliable water and food sources. They often follow hikers curiously, swooping low to check for any chance of food. Catching one in sunlight, its blue feathers glowing against green sage, is unforgettable. Allen's hummingbirds are small jewels of the Pacific coast, mainly breeding from southern Oregon through California. Males flash bright orange throats with iridescent green backs, while females have softer coloring. These hummingbirds feed on nectar from coastal flowers like California fuchsia and will also eat tiny insects. They build delicate cup-shaped nests wrapped in lichens, often hidden in shrubs or trees near the coast. Their rapid wing beats produce a humming sound as they hover gracefully in open woodlands and gardens. Allen's hummingbird is a vibrant symbol of coastal life. Males perform shimmering dives to impress females, flashing sunlight from their fiery orange throats. Seeing one pause midair among blooming sage feels like pure coastal magic. Northern mockingbirds are masters of mimicry, able to copy sounds from birds as well as animals and even mechanical noises. Males sing loudly and persistently, mixing songs from dozens of species to impress mates and warn rivals. Their singing can continue late into moonlit nights, especially in spring. They live in open spaces like parks, suburbs, chaparral, and forest edges across much of North America. These bold birds fiercely defend their territories, chasing off predators and intruders with dives and loud calls. Their gray bodies and bright white wing patches flash as they hop and flutter through shrubby habitats, adding life and song to many neighborhoods. Watching one raised high on a fence post, singing non-stop, defines the voice of the city's wild edges. Chaparral hills may seem quiet, but many animals share these dry slopes. Coyotes, mule deer, desert cottontails, rattlesnakes, and California king snakes are common residents. The standout reptile is the western fence lizard, often seen sunning on rocks or darting through shrubs. Males show bright blue patches on their bellies, flashing them in push-up displays to warn rivals during breeding. When threatened, they can drop their tails to escape predators, regrowing them later. These quick, alert lizards eat insects and spiders and are a familiar sight for visitors. The California towhee is a medium-sized bird found in dense chaparral, oak woodlands, and suburban gardens from southern Oregon to Baja California. It's a shy ground forager, using a distinctive double scratch to uncover seeds and insects beneath leaves. Their rusty brown feathers help them blend into brushy habitats. Towhees are mostly year-round residents and form strong pair bonds. Their sharp call and songs often go unnoticed behind dense thickets where they prefer to hide. The California towhee adapts well to urban edges, but depends on dense cover for safety and feeding. They often hop boldly onto patios or driveways, searching for crumbs or scattered seed. Catching their bright eye gleam from the hedge feels like meeting a secretive neighbor. Bewick's wrens are lively, long-tailed birds often found at chaparral edges and open woodlands. They often flick their tails upward while scolding intruders from a hidden branch. They have distinct white eyebrows and warm brown plumage. These wrens build multiple nest sites in shrubs and bark crevices. Their loud, bubbly songs echo across shrublands, marking territories and attracting mates. They forage actively by hopping along branches and probing bark for insects and spiders. Bewick's wrens are year-round residents, combining curiosity with caution. Their presence signals a healthy edge habitat rich in insect life. Spotting one bursting into song at eye level is a joyful chaparral moment. Say's phoebes are common flycatchers of open habitats, including grasslands, deserts, and brushy slopes in western North America. Their agile aerial hunting helps control local insect populations. They perch on fences and wires, darting out to catch insects mid-air. They often return to the same perch again and again while feeding. Their pale orange bellies and gray-brown backs stand out in open terrain. They build mud cup nests on ledges and under bridges. Say's phoebes sing soft whistles and buzzy calls to defend territories. They are early migrants, often arriving before other flycatchers in spring. Watching one hover briefly over a sunlit field captures the freedom of wide western skies. Southern California's chaparral hills face constant human pressure. Many slopes border neighborhoods, highways, and trails where birdwatchers, runners, and dog walkers enjoy the open air. Campgrounds and overlooks offer easy access, but weekend crowds can bring noise that drives secretive birds deeper into cover. Coastal sage scrub has lost much ground to urban development, shrinking the habitat of specialists like the California Gnatcatcher. Still, many birds adapt. Scrub jays scavenge in the backyards, mockingbirds sing from power lines, and towhees scratch beneath hedges. For birders, quieter times, like early morning, reveal a richer tapestry of voices. Conserving remaining wild patches ensures both people and wildlife continue to share this uniquely Southern Californian landscape. The Cactus Wren is a true desert and chaparral specialist of the American Southwest. It builds large domed nests woven within cholla and prickly pear cacti for protection from predators. Their spotted brown feathers blend perfectly with dry shrubs and rocky slopes. These vocal wrens sing loud, rattling songs that carry across arid hillsides. They forage on the ground and in low shrubs, feeding on insects, seeds, and fruits. In Southern California's inland chaparral, They nest among clusters of prickly pear and coastal sage scrub. Their bold presence and intricate nests are highlights of these sun-baked landscapes. Watching one burst from a cactus top, wings flashing, defines the life of the dry chaparral. Oak titmice are small gray birds of oak woodlands and mixed forests along California's coast and Sierra foothills. They often forage in pairs or family groups, flitting through trees in search of insects and acorns. They frequently follow woodpeckers, gleaning insects stirred from the bark and branches. Their soft calls include fast, buzzy trills. These birds nest in tree cavities or old woodpecker holes. Oak titmice are non-migratory, staying year-round in areas with ample oak trees. Their delicate presence signals healthy woodland ecosystems and offers birders a chance to spot one of California's quieter residents. Watching one tilt its small crest in dappled oak light embodies the calm of the woodland. Black-chinned sparrows inhabit dry, brushy slopes from California into the southwestern U.S. They favor chaparral and pinyon juniper woodlands. Males display a striking black throat and chin during breeding season. Their soft, sweet songs echo across arid hillsides, often heard during warmer months. These sparrows forage on the ground or in low vegetation, eating seeds and insects. Black-chinned sparrows are secretive but integral parts of dry ecosystems where their breeding presence marks evolving habitat health. They return each spring to the same steep, rocky slopes, bright with blooming sage. Spotting one singing from a sunlit yucca stem requires a quiet, patient watcher. Lawrence's goldfinches are small, colorful finches, often seen in erratic eruptions across California and southwestern states. Males wear bright yellow underparts with black caps during breeding. These finches flock to scrub and foothill habitats, feeding mainly on seeds from wildflowers and shrubs. Their lively trills and twittering calls fill open hillsides in spring. Populations fluctuate year to year with food availability, making sightings a special treat. Lawrence's goldfinch highlights the dynamic nature of wildflower-rich landscapes. They gather in loose groups near drying thistles and fiddlenecks to feed together. Watching a flock sparkle in sunlight as they lift off feels like spring in motion. Hermit thrushes are quiet, secretive visitors to lowland woodlands and chaparral in Southern California during winter. Though they breed in high mountains and farther north, winter birds here remain silent, offering only a mellow chuck or chuck-chuck call. They sport warm brown backs and spotted breasts, blending well with leaf litter. These thrushes hop quietly on the forest floor, flicking their tails downward between pauses as they search for insects and berries. Their presence signals cooler seasons and healthy habitat. Moving through oaks, willows, and chaparral edges, they stay tucked in cover, emerging briefly into filtered sunlight. Encountering one still and alert among shaded leaves feels like crossing paths with winter's calm. California quails are plump, ground-dwelling birds easily recognized by their forward-drooping head plumes. These social birds gather in noisy coveys to feed on seeds and plants in open woodlands, grasslands, and scrubby hillsides. Quails prefer dense cover nearby for nesting and escape. Their distinctive whistles and calls carry across chaparral and suburban edges. Adaptable and fast runners, California quails are a common, iconic sight of the western landscape. They often erupt from cover in a flutter of wings when startled by footsteps. Families move together in tight groups, sharing alert calls as they forage. Watching a covey cross a sunlit trail feels like glimpsing California's wild heart. Lark sparrows are striking with bold facial markings, chestnut stripes, and a white face with a central buffy breast spot. They prefer open habitats like grasslands, agricultural fields, and shrublands across western North America. These sparrows flock actively in winter, foraging on seeds and insects. Their musical trills and whistles punctuate quiet fields. Lark sparrows nest on the ground or in low shrubs. Their confident appearance and social flocks make them easy to spot. They often perch on fence posts or rocks, surveying open country for food and company. Early in the season, males perform fluttering flight songs above grassy slopes. Spotting one outlined against a golden hillside completes a timeless western scene. Anna's hummingbirds are small and bold with iridescent rose-pink throats and emerald green backs. They live year-round in California and parts of the western U.S. These hummingbirds feed on nectar from flowers and feeders, also catching tiny insects in flight. Males sing complex, buzzy songs and perform dive displays during breeding. Anna's hummingbirds are common in gardens and parks, dazzling watchers with their speed, color, and energy. Their whirring wings and sharp chips are constant sounds of mid-coastal winters. Males flash brilliant colors when sunlight strikes just right, turning their throats to vivid fire. Watching one hover over blooming sage brings a burst of living color to winter days. Fox sparrows are large, robust sparrows with thick bills and bright, rust-colored plumage. They prefer dense thickets and brushy woodlands where they silently scratch through leaf litter searching for insects and seeds. These shy birds often remain hidden but express themselves with rich, musical songs during breeding. Fox sparrows migrate from northern breeding grounds to winter in more temperate woodlands, signaling seasonal changes. They use a strong double scratch to uncover food beneath fallen leaves and twigs. In California, they frequent shaded creek beds lined with willows and toyon during the cooler months. A glimpse of one flicking leaves aside feels like finding autumn's quiet heartbeat. The greater Roadrunner is a large, long-legged bird of deserts and arid scrub in the southwestern U.S. and Mexico. Known for chasing lizards, snakes, and insects on foot, it is fast and agile. Roadrunners use their strong bills to catch prey and build sturdy nests in low bushes. Their distinctive calls range from coos to rattles. These bold birds often stand upright on fence posts, adding life to desert landscapes with their unique presence. In Southern California chaparral, they stride confidently through the open sage and prickly pear flats. They can run over 15 miles per hour in bursts of pursuit. Seeing one dash across a dusty trail brings desert energy to life in motion. Cassin's kingbirds are loud, aggressive flycatchers of open woodlands and desert edges from the southwestern U.S. into Mexico. Their bright yellow bellies and gray heads are easy to spot perched on high wires or branches. They hawk flying insects with swift dives and vocal calls. These territorial birds fiercely defend nests against predators with loud alarms. Cassin's kingbirds serve as sentinels of open habitats, warning neighbors of threats while commanding attention with their bold colors. In chaparral borders and ranch lands, their sharp calls ring out across the warm air. They frequently return to the same exposed perch to survey and sally for insects. Watching one flare its wings against a sunset sky defines their fearless beauty. Bell sparrows are shy and well-camouflaged residents of California's sage scrub and chaparral. Their muted gray and brown plumage blends perfectly with dry scrub, helping them avoid predators. These sparrows forage on seeds and insects on the ground and in low bushes. Bell sparrows sing soft, warbling songs during breeding to claim territory. They are local specialists tied closely to the health of California's chaparral ecosystem. They often perch briefly atop sagebrush before diving back into cover to feed. Males sing from rocky outcrops on warm mornings, filling quiet hillsides with gentle notes. Watching one dart from sage shadow to shadow, tail raised, feels like glimpsing the restless life of the chaparral. Western bluebirds are small thrushes common in open woodlands, parks, and edges of farmlands across western North America. Males sport bright blue backs and rusty chests. Females are more subdued. These gentle birds perch quietly on fence posts and wires, watching for insects and berries to catch or eat. Their soft warbling songs float through the air in spring and summer. Western bluebirds nest in tree cavities and are important forest edge indicators. They often gather in family groups, fluttering between perches as they feed together. Seeing one glowing blue against golden grass captures the calm beauty of open country. Thank you for exploring Southern California's must-see birds of the coastal sage and chaparral. Which bird stood out to you the most? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you so much for exploring Southern California's must-see birds with me.